Good morning, wonderful, amazing, fantastic geometry class. Today is Tuesday, March 17th, and I am posting examples of how to solve equations with variables on both sides. So that was the topic on the handout that was given out, as well as the Khan Academy problem set that was assigned for today. So let's jump into this math. We're going to start with problem 1 on the handout. So problem 1 on the handout, we have 6 plus 6n equals 5n minus 1. So when solving equations with variables on both sides, you want to start by making sure both sides are completely simplified. So we see there's no distribution, no like terms to be combined on the left side or the right side. So because both sides are simplified, now we want to designate what side to get all of the variables on. Because both sides have variables and constants, it's fairly common or easy to get the variable on, to isolate the variable to the left side. So we want to move any variables on this side to this side of the equation. The only term with a variable is this, 5n. Because it is a positive 5n, again, keep in mind the sign for each term is always found to the left of it. So even though it's 5n minus 1, this is a negative 1 and a positive 5n. So repeat, positive 5n, you want to do the opposite. Opposite of having a positive 5n is to subtract it to get it to cancel. So 5n minus 5n cancels to 0. 0 minus 1 is just negative 1. So that's where this negative 1 came from. To keep the equation balanced, you must do the same thing on both sides. So we're also going to subtract 5n on this side. 6n minus 5n gets us 1n, which is the same exact thing as just n. So now our equation reads 6 plus n, equals negative 1. Is that a 6 or a 2? That's a 6, praise God. So now to get n by itself, we want to move this 6. So again, keep in mind this plus sign is attached to this n, so this is a positive n. There's no sign in front of the 6, so we can assume that it is a positive 6. Because it is positive 6, you want to subtract 6 so that it cancels to 0. Positive 6 minus 6 gets us 0 plus n, which is just n. We have to keep the equation balanced by subtracting 6 on both sides. So now we're doing negative 1 minus 6, which gets us negative 7. So our final answer for number 1 is n equals negative 7. Let us look at another example. Let's jump down to problem 3. So problem 3, there's a little more work involved. We actually have to simplify before we start determining what side to get all the variables on. So the left side of the equation is already simplified. We have 3v minus 4, no like terms, no distribution. The right side, however, requires a little bit of work. So we have negative 3 plus v plus 8 minus 3. You want to combine like terms so that we can see what terms need to be moved and not have to move individual terms unnecessarily. So we just want to put them all together in one number. The like terms are the constants, the terms without variables. So we see there's no other term without a v, so we're just going to bring down that v. We're going to combine this negative 3 with positive 8 and this negative 3. So negative 3 plus 8 gets us 5. 5 minus 3 gets us 2. As I've said in previous videos, it does not matter which order. You could have also done positive 8 minus 3 gets us 5, and then negative 3 plus 5 gets us 2. You could have also done negative 3 minus 3 gets us negative 6, and then 8 minus 6 or 8 plus negative 6 gets us 2. So again, order doesn't matter as long as each term maintains its sign. Regardless, when these simplify, we are left with 2. So the right side of the equation reads 2 plus v. So now this problem looks very similar to problem 1. There's nothing left to simplify. We have variables and constants on both sides. So for consistency and ease, we're going to make the left side the variable side. So we want to move each term with a variable to the left side. That is this v. This is a positive v because of this positive sign right here, I believe, backwards to me, yes. So this positive sign is assigned to this v. So because this is a positive 1v, and there's no number, there's a 1, we're going to subtract 1v from both sides. So positive 1v minus 1v cancels to 0. 2 plus 0 is just 2. Again, keeping the equation balanced, we're going to subtract 1v on this side as well. 3v minus 1v gets us 2v. This negative 4 just comes down because it was not combined with any terms quite yet. Again, this is the variable side, so we need to move everything from this side that does not have a variable, which is this -4. So because of the subtraction sign in front of the 4, it is a negative. Because it is -4, we need to add 4 to both sides to get v by itself. So we're going to add 4. -4 plus 4 is 0. 2v plus 0 is just 2v. Again, keep the equation balanced. Add 4 to this side. 2 plus 4 gets us 6. Final step, we're now here at 2v equals 6. When a coefficient or a number is right in front of a variable, that is multiplication. So the opposite or inverse operation for multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 2, and we simply get v equals 3. And that is our final answer. 2 divided by 2 gets us 1. By the way, 1v is the same thing as v. So that's why v is isolated. When you divide 6 by 2, you get 3. v equals 3. Final answer for problem 3. Let us jump to problem 6. Problem 6 is very similar to the last problem. We have to simplify one of the sides. So the right side is already simplified. So we just brought down the right side, which is -6 plus 8n. The left side requires a little bit more work. So this -2 we can just bring down. It's just chilling by itself. But this 7 in front of the parentheses needs to be distributed. So remember, when a number is written right next to a variable or right next to a set of parentheses, that is multiplication. So we're going to distribute this 7 into the parentheses. Keep in mind, this subtraction sign ensures that this 7 is a negative. So we're actually distributing -7 into the parentheses. So -7 times n gets us -7n. -7 times +7 gets us -49. On this next line, we're combining like terms. So I brought down this -2 at the beginning of the problem. My like terms are the -2 and the -49 because they both do not have a variable after them. So -2 minus 49 simplifies to -51. Then I just brought down this -7n because there were no like terms to combine them with. Again, no side is special. We have variables and constants on both sides. So for the sake of consistency and ease, we're going to make the left side the variable side, which means any variable on this side needs to be moved over here. Because this is a positive n due to this plus sign, we're going to subtract, positive 8n. We're going to subtract 8n to cancel this out. So positive 8n minus 8n gets us 0. -6 plus 0 gets us -6. And then we're doing the same thing on this side. -7n minus 8n. Again, this is negative because of the subtraction sign. Gets us -15n. And we just brought down this -51. So -51 minus 15n equals -6 is where we're at right now. Now we want to move any term that does not have a variable away from this side because this is the variable side. Because of this negative sign right here, this is a -51. To cancel it, we need to add 51. -51 plus 51 gets us 0. 0 minus 15n gets us -15n. Adding 51 to both sides to keep the equation balanced, we get -6 plus 51, which gets us +45. Now, final step, remember when a number is right next to a variable or a term has a coefficient, this is multiplication. The inverse operation or opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by -15. When we divide both sides by -15, 45 divided by -15 gets us -3. -15 divided by -15 is 1. 1 times n is n. That's why n is isolated. So our final answer for number 6 is n equals -3. Last one on this assignment. So number 12 is a doozy, right? I'll give you at least one doozy. These doozies show up all the time on the SAT and other standardized tests, NWEA. So problem 12, both sides need to be simplified. There's no easy side, man. So this -5 in front of the parentheses, remember, is being multiplied into the parentheses. So we need to distribute that -5 to the 7n and the 3. So -5 times 7n gets us -35n. -5 times 3 gets us -15. On this side, this -6n is just by itself, not next to any set of parentheses, no like terms quite yet to combine. So we're going to bring this down, and then we need to distribute this 3 into the parentheses with multiplication. So 3 times 5n gets us 15n. Ooh, excuse me. 3 times I believe that's a negative sign. Oh, yeah. So 3 times negative 5 gets us negative 15. So now in this line we have negative 35 and minus 21, I'm sorry, minus 15 minus equals negative 6 and plus 15 and minus 15. So then to go to this line, we combine like terms. So we have negative 6n plus 15. Again, this is a positive 15 because of that plus sign. So negative 6n plus 15 gets us 9n. 9n. So now we have negative 35n minus 12 equals 9n minus 15. So now again, variables and constants on both sides. So we want to get all the variables on the left side for consistency. So we're going to do minus 9n on both sides. When we subtract 9n from this positive 9n, it cancels to 0. So we're left with negative 15 on this side. On this side, negative 35n minus 9n gets us negative 44n. And this just came down because there was nothing to combine it with. We need to remove anything without a variable from this side. So we're going to add 15 to both sides. So that gets us negative 44n equals 0. Negative 15 plus 15 does equal 0. It technically does cancel, but because there's nothing over here, we need to put this 0. Make sure you put this 0. Final step is to get n by itself when a number is right next to a variable that is multiplication. So we need to do the opposite, which is division. Negative 44 divided by negative 44 is 1. 1 times n is just n. 0 divided by negative 44 is just 0. So again, make sure you're putting that 0 because there is nothing else on this side. So our final answer for this one is 0. Now we're going to look at 2 problems from the Khan Academy set. I think I just gave you guys 1 problem set for today. So for the first problem in the Khan Academy set that was given to me, we were given 2d plus 4. Yes, 2d plus 4 equals 10 plus 5d. So because both sides are simplified, we want to get all the variables on one side. So all I did was do minus 5d on both sides. 5d minus 5d is 0, so that cancels. And we're just left with 10 plus 0, which is 10 on the right side. And we did minus 5d on the left side to get 2 minus 5d, which is negative 3d. And then we brought down that positive 4. Now again, we need to move any term that does not have a variable to the other side, the right side of the equation. So we're going to subtract 4 on both sides because it is a positive 4. So 10 minus 4 gets us 6. So we're left with negative 3d equals 6. And our final step is to remove that negative 3 by dividing both sides by negative 3. Whenever a number is in front of a variable, as I've said before, that is multiplication. So we have to cancel it with division. Dividing both sides by negative 3 gets us d equals negative 2, that first problem. This problem set was kind of repetitive. So the only other different problem that they gave me was this one. So for this problem, I believe we have negative f plus 2. Yes. Negative f plus 2 plus 4f equals 8 minus 3f. So this one's kind of similar to the other problems we did on the actual assignment, the handout. We have to start by simplifying. The right side is already simplified, so we bring down the 8 minus 3f on the right side. However, on the left side, we need to combine like terms. So we can see we can combine this negative 1f with this 4f. Negative 1 plus 4 gets us 3f, and then we just brought down this plus 2. Both sides have variables and constants, so we can make the left side our variable side, which means any variable on this side needs to be moved to the variable side. This is a negative 3 because of this subtraction sign, so we are going to add 3f on both sides to get them to cancel. Negative 3f plus 3f is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. It's canceled. 8 is by itself. We have to also add 3f to the left side to keep the equation balanced. 3f plus 3f is 6f, and we brought down this plus 2 because there were no like terms that were combined with it. So now we have to move the term without a variable from the left side. So to move this 2, we are going to, where's my pen? Oh, we are going to subtract 2 because it is positive. This plus sign makes this 2 positive, so we're going to subtract 2 on both sides. 2 minus 2 gets us 0, so 6f plus 0 or minus 0 is just 6f. You have to subtract 2 on this side as well to get 6. 8 minus 2 is 6. Final step, 6f is the same thing as 6 times f. Your number next to your variable is multiplication. Opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 6, and we get f equals 1 for our final answer. And that concludes my explanation of or review of solving equations with variables on both sides. If you have any questions about your specific problems in the Khan Academy set or any other problems on the handout, feel free to leave a comment down below. Comment on Google Classroom, reach out through text or email. And you can also do that if you have questions about your grade or other things you can work on or submit digitally during the school closure period to improve your grade. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.